Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? It's G, and you are watching Allastrology. It is Saturday night, Starry Night Live, and it is March 23rd. And since we've never seen your chart before, we're looking at your natal chart because that's, I got to know who you are. I mean, I got to see your basic frequency grid, man. Got to see your natal chart. What I normally do, just so you know, is I can put a link into the StreamYard chat, and the link is only for the person that's in the queue, where it's their turn in the queue. That's how we use that link. You only grab the link when it's your turn. It makes it easier for back and forth rapport. So halfers, this is no pressure, but that link is there for you if you wanna grab it and if you wanna be on the live, and if you don't have to be. Your face doesn't have to be on here. You can click on that thing where your face won't show, and it could just be your voice, because once I'm looking at a chart, I can go back and read the chat, but ask anybody here. Once my eyes look at the chart, they pretty much kind of dive into the chart. Alright, so we got a Cancer ascendant, a moon in Cancer. Ooh. Ooh, a retrograded Mercury in the birth chart, and the Mercury in Taurus. That can be tricky, huh? Taurus sun. Aha. All right. Interesting. Conjunct algo. Whoa. Wow. Mars 29 degrees in Taurus. Holy crap. Talk about endurance. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Let me see your Aries energy at the midheaven. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Look at the Juno. 29 degrees in Pisces, ninth house. Oh, your partner's on the other side of the world. Yeah. Okay. Um, so let's see here. Wow. All right. So you made a mention about, I think, if I remember your comment, um, and you're right. Look at the comment. Look at the comment. Look at the geometry of the chart, right? Got the 60 degrees all the way around the chart, right? The mystic rectangle, really the Merkaba is what I call it, or they call it the, what's their name? Yeah, all the way around the chart. So it gives you that, it's those 60-degree points. Yeah, makes sense? So they go, like, all the way around, and what it ends up doing is, well, how about this? I would really like to hear, and you can just type it in. I would really like to hear how like, do you see this showing up in your life in a spiritual way? And so that doesn't mean that you have to be someone of the cloth or a member of the clergy. Doesn't have to be like that. I'm not saying religion, but I'm saying in a spiritual way. And I know that might be a little kind of a crazy thing to say. And I know this looks a little wonky, but this is just me trying to give you guys the general idea. Um, but typically, when we see the charts that are like this, there's like support, the support system set up. And when you have this kind of a support system set up for oneself, typically this kind of energy is going to end up leading to be an individual who can take things and understand the deeper meanings of purpose, of life, of living. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about money, 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 right? Material and the tangible, which is saying a lot and asking a lot for a Taurus at 25 conjunct algo, right? I mean, Taurus is like, where's mine? That's mine. Let's accumulate. And you got 25 degrees Taurus. So what I think is beneficial is, it is conjunct Chiron. Your Chiron's at 27 there. Okay, the wound of the values, right? So this can be the values of self-love, self-worth, because it's Chiron, it's the wound, but it's the wounded healer. So we take those values that we have about ourself and maybe like we might feel like we're damaged goods in some way, like in whatever way that is. Now, because yours at 25, 27 puts it in your 11th house. Now, how do I know it's in his 11th? Because there's so much shit on the charts, right? And that's the way I draw up the charts. I'm crazy like that, right? Because his 11th house begins at 20 degrees. You see, 20 degrees and 47 minutes in Taurus. That's where his 11th house begins. So any numbers that are higher than that are going to be in his 11th house, you see? So that's how I know his sun at 25 and the Algo and the Chiron are in his 11th house. Or her. I mean, I'm not sure. This just says halfers. You could be, so don't take offense, please. And I don't need to know, right? Whether doesn't matter. But for this individual, the 11th house is friends and group energy, right? Social causes, right? Social concerns. It's the house of humanitarian. It's also known as the house of the angelic realm. So you've got like that and Gemini there. You got a big ass 11th house, 10 degrees of Taurus and 20 degrees of Gemini, because your 12th house begins at 21 in Gemini. Yeah, can you hear people sneezing in the background? And I'll just say that this is all completely very, very quiet compared to how it's been. Like today's been a very different day. Like night and day. Mars at the critical degree yesterday in Aquarius. Yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of regressing because Mars at 29 in this chart, but in Taurus. So this energy taking on a spiritual tone, but you also, again, when we talk about 11th house and social concerns, some would look at that like philanthropy and people who actually give a shit about, oh, I don't know, large groups of people, starving to death, right? Or if it's Taurus energy and it's Gemini, business and merchant, these are people who might be involved with like supply chain stuff, right? We think of the airlines even. We think of just mass transportation. We think of the inventor and inventions, right? But because Taurus is there and you got so much in the high degrees, having so much stuff in those high degrees lends to like a very, it's like we call it like kind of like the mastery degrees, because we're basically saying that we've been through the 101, right? And the 202 classes, and now we're in the 303s. When we're in the third decan of a sign, right? Because there's 30 degrees to a sign and divide it by the 10 degrees, right? So from 20 degrees to the 29, 30 degrees of Taurus is that last decan. So self-worth and Chiron, and what are you going to do with it? Like that's the whole idea with Chiron energy. It's I've got these wounds, and so that you could have wounds with friends and friendships, and might find that some of your greatest pains might have been there, possibly, or group energy in some way. But the idea is to take whatever those wounds are and to turn them around and to heal from them, but then to possibly be able to see how others may suffer from those same wounds and be able to kind of shed some light on that and be like, hey, don't know if this will work for you, but like this is what worked for me, type of thing. Because Taurus on a really high level can truly elevate and be that light. That's that super elevated energy. It is supposed to put that light on the path for others. The eye of the bull. Some liken it to I don't want to get religious here. I just like, yeah, I had a Christian upbringing. It's kind of, some things are just, yeah, burned on my brain. you know, you think of 18 years of Bible study, and every day in class you're reading the Bible and blah, and all that. And I'm not kicking down at it, but it's just a lot of times I can read certain things and like Bible verses will pop in my head and certain imagery. And so Christ consciousness, an elevated Taurus energy, and I mean it has to be super elevated, right? Where it can see that things are just things, and the whole thing. It's just money, you can't take it with you, type of stuff. But what can I do with it? What good can I do with it? So your chart and having what I call this Merkaba energy, which is that 60 degrees all the way around, right? Having that in there gives you the support to handle the trying times. It gives you the energetic support. It's like you're in an energetic vehicle that supports and stabilizes you on your journey. So, you know, yeah. I'm like right now, what jumped out was the Jupiter and the Uranus. Holy spicoli. Look at that, guys. First of all, first of all, like Uranus energy, fifth house, exciting and new, like romance, dating, mating, children, fun, going on a trip, going on a vacation, flying. This is Sagittarius energy, higher learning, always looking to learn, loving to go on that journey. Yeah. Holy crap. Look at this. I mean, when you have Jupiter conjunct Uranus, exciting and different and independent freedom. Oh my God, let the freedom bell ring. Holy shit. Raise that. Yeah, Uranus energy, very uniquely independent. It's also astrology. But yeah, this is some really strong energy. So you got this creative, strong energy in the fifth house of creativity, of creativity, and ways that you can be creative. Like that's that sun energy. That's that sun energy. And you've got Taurus up there. Maybe you're creative with money. Maybe you're creative with food. Maybe you're doing something creative for the planet and for the earth. Now, that Mercury retrograde in Taurus, here's the thing. I think it's beneficial for folks who have a retrograde Mercury when they have a Mercury in Taurus. And I realize there might be some times where it might not have felt that way. I also have Mercury in Taurus. And my Mercury is also behind my sun, like yours is. Yours is behind, it's not in front of your sun. People who have their Mercury in the front of their sun, yeah, they do kind of tend to pick up on concepts and ideas faster, get information, like it just kind of they catch on to it, or they hear and they understand and they know. The Mercury behind Taurus is slow energy. It can be very methodical, can be unbelievably stubborn. So Mercury being there, and Mercury is the mind, there might be some stubbornness, but the retrograde and the slowness, retrogrades already tend to slow things down. They're like do-over energy, so it's like a force of having to do something over. And I think that can help with accuracy when we have to redo something, right? So reading, writing, whatever the heck it is, learning. You have a Mercury retrograde. Sometimes I think the Taurus energy can benefit from it. It has to do with if it's being angled by something in a difficult way. You have ancestors here angling it at 20 degrees. Part of ancestors on that side. And no, you got the second house cusp line, but nothing at 19 or 20. But this is like at 17. So that might be a thing. Values might be a big T square. It might be a struggle with values. Huh. Interesting. So halfers, let me find the comments real quick here and see. Let's see. Yeah, Taffy had to go in the other room. Okay. All right, so what do you think then, halfers? Because I think your comment was under the YOD video, right? The YOD? Right, which is when you have a chart like this, like let's just put it into perspective here. When you have a chart like this means there's like these constant YOD shit happening all the way around the chart, right? And so anytime we speak of that YOD energy, like if you paid attention in that video, that YOD energy, like there's purpose, there's meaning, there's like this soul energy involved, right? We're not just coming in all willy nilly to just, I'm just here to simply have a good time or to just, to just do whatever. It's the experiences, but there's also purpose. Like, so we can have charts that give us where there's multi meanings involved, lifetimes where we're here not just to experience, because I'll be the first person to admit, we're here to just to experience. Yes. But at the same time, you can also be here to experience, but you can also be connected and have like those ties previously set up, whatever you want to call them, soul families, other lifetimes, alternative lifetimes, whatever the hell you want to call it, where there's some actions and there's some things you're here to do. Okay. And many times, whenever I say that, people always think of it like on this huge, grandiose scale, like I'm destined to be this and destined to do that. Well, sometimes these big things don't necessarily always have to be like major in the spotlight. But having your sun conjunct the algo, do you see that? Were you aware that your sun is conjunct algo? Because I don't, some people may not look at all the, like the fixed stars and whatnot. And so having algo there, let me give you a quick definition. This can be a tricky star. I have to double check it. So it's all about passion and it is about desire. Okay. And the ancient old beliefs is it's a star, like a double star system thing where it has phases of greater brightness and lesser brightness. And in the beliefs, they were the olden times, right? They thought that when the star grew dark, it seemed as though it was a dark time, right? Like things weren't so wonderful, right? And then during the other times when the star was bright, it was bringing what was subconscious to the light. So like an ability to elevate. So in other words, in this lifetime, because your sun is literally there on that star, it's quite possible you do that for others, whether you're doing it on a large scale, maybe it's just within your friend group, maybe you have something online, maybe you are online because you do have Gemini in the 11th. So it has the ability to unleash great passions, right? And in Taurus, right? Algo in Taurus, Taurus is all about desire. We think Venus energy. You got Venus in Cancer. So your Venus in Cancer is the public, but it's also home and family. Yeah, it's also that 12th house. So again, it speaks to more of that subconscious energy and bringing something that's subconscious, something that's hidden. These could be things also like in dreams. These could be things from having the knowings, 12th house, I just know this shit, right? Having the knowings and the understanding. And look, even your freaking North Node is in Gemini in your 12th house. So whether you're, doing this already, if you're not, well, then you're supposed to be. Like, this is part of what the soul came to do. This is part of the future for you, part of your future. Communications, Gemini. Teaching, Gemini, right? Information, elevating, changing the mind, showing different perspectives, Gemini energy, right? Gemini energy. And you got Venus there. And then you've got your freaking moon in Cancer energy too. And it's also in that 12th. So yeah, when I see a lot of that type of energy, we think of ancestry. We think of my history and my family. And so some people are like, oh, yeah, I've got family who's got homes on the other side of the world or something, right? Cancer energy. But it can also be connected to the history of the soul. Okay. So many times it's a real puzzle. But your sleep and your dreams, and you may even get visuals of things where you're just like, okay, what is this? Or maybe you feel like you already know. I'm not going to challenge it. I'm not going to challenge it. Not at all. You're to be the one to say, whether this sounds right for you. Well, you don't have to study the stars. I see your comment there. But you have your chart, right? So that's astrology. And in that chart, that that A actually represents a lot of things. It's not just astrology. Let me tell you the name of that big letter A. I forgot it. Don't ask me why. Urania. Urania. Interesting, right? This is one of the muses, right? Known as one of the 9 muses, the goddess of music and song. That's Pisces already. That's 12th house stuff already as it is. song and dance, as well as astronomy and astrology. There is a desire for precision, an urge to study a subject thoroughly, focus on more serious, important areas of life, a deeper issue, interests in theory, knowledge for knowledge's sake, kind of a scientific bent to it, right? Uranus, kind of a scientific bent, able to extract principles after assembling the evidence. Now, this may seem it may not I don't know, because it's in your 12th, these are things that are usually hidden from our awareness. Do you follow what I mean? So, I can kind of speak to this because I have some stuff in my 12th, and when we have things in our 12th, it can be like we understand certain things, we don't know how we understand them. We know certain things, we don't know how we know them. We just know them. We didn't have to necessarily study them, but we just know them. All right. What happens with this kind of energy that you have, having this Urania there, having Venus there, having your moon in your 12th, it's basically just kind of understanding some of the mysteries, some of the esoteric stuff of life. And astrology's been put in that bucket of, yeah, it's esoteric. It's, whatever the hell people say. Yeah. I don't really ever hear too many favorable things said. So I try not to go there. But um Cancer energy is history, and that's water, and it's powerful. And water is emotions, it's family, it's mom. All right. So your life is up to you. At the end of the day, you have the sun, which is where our willpower is. And it's also, I think, why that fifth house jumped out. The sun rules the fifth house of a person's chart. And you have Jupiter, freedom, right? Your freedom to seek, to search for the wisdom, the knowledge, to be the teacher eventually. Like that's Jupiter. I know we always say Saturn is the taskmaster, but Jupiter is, yeah, the college educator, the teacher. It's also the preacher, by the way. Yeah. But something different and new, something exciting. And Uranus is also astrology. Now, I'm not trying to push you towards astrology, but what's interesting is that this Uranus, basically this energy in a way is kind of telling me kind of some of the same themes that I've already kind of touched on in your chart. And I know there's so many other things that I haven't even gotten a chance to look at. But we're not here just one Saturday a month. I'm here every Saturday. And so you're more than welcome to come back. Um yeah, and then you've got like all this, oh, yeah, you've got all this energy over here on your descendant. Corporations, business, somebody older, someone who's serious. This is like that father energy. This is corporations, big time, and managerial energy. Yeah. And Pallas Athena not far. Vega and Black Moon Lilith. So maybe you've been going through a difficult time recently, probably the past few months, quite possibly. And it could have to do with the health because this is all in your fifth house, Vega and Black Moon Lilith. And in the sky right now for all of us, and it's been this way, we've all been under this really difficult great cross. And I'm just going to draw it in for you on your chart because it's the first time that I saw you here. But your moon, just so that you're kind of aware of this, the great cross right now that's been with us goes right over your moon. Yep, it's right here. And then we got the nodes, the moon's nodes right here at 14 and 15. And your Eris is right there at 15 degrees. Female warrior, she's mad, she's pissed off. Eris at 15, yours is right there. So you've been experiencing this really strong, great cardinal cross up in the sky, quite personally, because you have objects. You have stuff right here between your moon, home, family. Your moon in your 12th, yep, can be somebody older, but history and family is part of this. But it could be things that are maybe you're like, hey, I'm not really sure. That's okay because it's in the 12th, so it could be hidden. But you've got all this right here. This is all part, the 13 degrees of Urania, Sirius, and your moon, well, and even your white moon freaking Lilith, they're all part of this great grand cardinal cross. Your Eris, who is angry, she is feminine, strong energy. She's pissed off. Regardless of if you're masculine or feminine, or however you identify, or whatever you're more of, or whatever, this is here and this is your chart. So, this is a representation of you, our hidden ego, and our anger. But it's like this part of our feminine identity that is super pissed and super combative. Because, like I said, in the sky, we got stuff there and here. Your Black Moon Lilith. So this great crayon cross, you kind of, yeah, always have because you have stuff there. The nice thing is you don't have anything personally in Libra at the 15. However, the South Node has been sitting here for a couple of months at 15 degrees. And it stays for a couple months more. So, like, yeah, the diplomacy and civil communications and conversations and things easily this is just added to this difficult T square that you already experience all the time in your chart. Okay, so some of this stuff can be subconscious, like there might be inner turmoil or an inner battle. It can express that way. It can have to do with the way you think and the way you're communicating and the way people are communicating with you too, and a challenge to beliefs. All right, and then of course your health might get triggered because it's this stuff sitting in your sixth house, which is your day-to-day routines, possibly at the job, possibly something with a boss, you know, an authority figure in your life, possibly, or maybe you are the authority figure that's under stress. But yeah, there's a lot of stress and tension here. All right. So with that said, I got to move on. And I hope this makes sense for you. Again, come back again sometime and we will take another look at this. And yeah, write your dreams down, okay? If you don't, sometimes when people got all that kind of energy, I mean, I'm writing in my sleep. You got Gemini in your 12th house. And that's your North Node there too. Yeah. There's lots to dig into here for you, especially if you're like, hey, what do I, you know, like, where am I going? I'm on a boat and the sail's not up and I don't got a motor. And I'm not saying you are that. I'm just saying if you are. Make sense? All right. Good. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope it makes sense for you. Dream does come to pass, okay? Juno in my mind where this person is. Oh, they're far from you because it's in Pisces. It's in your oh no, did I say it was in Pisces? It's in your ninth house, which can be on the other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing about that, which is hard, is it's at a critical degree, 29, and but Pisces says it's someone who's far away, right? In another country, Pisces in another country, foreign language, foreign land, right? That's that Pisces stuff, and it's in your ninth house too. Yeah, so something there with the beliefs and learning what your beliefs are or aren't, right? And having to travel for that possibly. Since from birth till now with difficult times, I have chronic. Yeah, and a couple of well, there you go. That sixth house stuff because you have that T square. Thank you for confirming that. You have that T square in your chart. And it was at the top part, right? Because you didn't have anything in Libra, but that other freaking T square, the cardinal stuff. So yeah, that's Virgo sixth house, that indigestion, the stomach stuff. Yep. Very good. Very good. Yes. I got to get another chart going. I hope that helps in some way. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. And if you're not sick and tired of me, stay here on the channel and watch the video that's about to pop up right now. I appreciate you. Bye bye.